Okay. So yesterday we covered S3, how to create bucket, how to upload the file on S3. We have seen bucket property, we have seen object property. Anybody has any question or doubt or concern in that? We have done the lab. So and we have seen the how the data is stored in S3. We have seen the data is stored on minimum three voltage zone in S3. Then we talk about data consistency. Okay, till here we have covered yesterday. Anybody has any question in there? Okay. Now today we are going to cover different storage classes in S3. Now what is storage classes? Where we can use it? Now take an example. You are storing your data in Amazon. You are storing your data in S3, and Amazon charge you on the basis of the um, number of time you are accessing your data in general, and how long you are keeping your data in S3. So if you are not using your data, still Amazon will charge you for keeping your data in S3 bucket, versus a person who is accessing the file on a daily basis. Both of you will get the same charges. So take example, there are two-person. One person has kept a file and he hasn't accessed that file for last 1 year, and there is a person who is accessing the file. There is another person who has uploaded the file, and he is accessing the file on a daily basis. Now both are using S3, but the second person is using S3 way more as compared to the first person. Agree? Yes or no? Are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? So using S3, so if I'm using S3 or accessing a file on a daily basis, then I am accessing S3 bucket or accessing file for 365 days. So I have used S3 bucket 365 days, and there is another person who has uploaded the file in S3 and who hasn't used the file for last 365 days. He has just used for backup. So let's say to store a file you have to pay 1 rupees. So both of them are paying 365 rupees, but this person is not using S3. He is just storing the data. He is not accessing the data for last 1 year. Still, and this person is using the service on a daily basis. Both of them has to pay 365 rupees. Is this justified? You will say, okay, I am not using the data. Still, I am paying the equivalent amount similar to the person who is using the S3 bucket extensively. Agree? You are getting what I'm trying to say? समझ आ रहा है? यहाँ पे एक बंदा डेली यूज कर रहा है, यहाँ पे एक बंदा यूज ही नहीं कर रहा है, स्टिल दोनों को सेम प्राइस लग रहा है. Do you think that both of them are getting same charge is fair? What do you think? So there should be a charging mechanism. There should be some way that if I'm not using the data, that means I should get charged less. Yes, no, anything.
Yes.
Okay. Now To tackle this thing, Amazon has given a storage classes, the category wise. So how frequently you are using the data? Okay, according to that, Amazon will charge you, and they have created different tiers. So first is standard tier. This is a default tier. Okay, so basically you can, S3 has different version. You can say different version in means you can store your file in different category. According to that category, you will be getting charged. So basically, to save the money, we use different category in S3. So S3 bucket, you can say, divided into 6 to 7 categories. According to property of that category, you will be getting charged. So the top and the most basic one is S3 standard. Okay, in S3 standard, if you are uploading any file in S3, by default, it will be uploaded in S3 standard. This is the most costliest storage class in S3. So if you are uploading any file and you are not selecting anything, so by default, the data will be stored in S3 class, S3 standard class. If I'm not selecting anything, the data will be stored in S3 standard class. Okay. So let's say you have to store of data, you have to pay 100 rupees. Okay. So in S3 standard, you have to pay 100 rupees per month. It gives you 100 all the feature which comes in S3, like storing the data in 3 availability zone. Data is always available, 99.99 durability. All the things which we have learned is given in S3 standard. This is the costliest storage class in Amazon, and by default, if you're uploading anything, it will be stored in S3 standard. There is no charge in general. There is no charge in down accessing the file or downloading the file and number of times. So S3 standard, 99.99 availability and 99.9999 time durability, uh, stored redundantly across multiple devices in multiple facilities, and is designed to sustain loss of two facility concurrently. So data is stored in multi-availability zone, okay, and it is designed so that your data will not lose any time. So this is a default storage class. Then this is a default feature which we have talked till now. So if you are uploading anything in Amazon, it will be stored by default in S3 standard until unless you change the storage class. Now after this, S3 infrequent access, S3 IA. This is the class you have to understand. Now, if you are storing your data in S3 infrequent access, what will happen? So for the data that access less frequently but require rapid access when needed. So if you have a data, if you have a file, if you have a document which you are not accessing frequently, but when you require that data, you need immediately, within seconds you require the data. What type of document, what type of data can you imagine that you are not using that data on a daily basis, but whenever you require immediately. You can't wait for a couple of hours, couple of minutes. Your identity proofs like your PAN card, your Aadhaar card, your driving license. Are you accessing your driving license soft copy on a daily basis? Are you accessing your driving license on a daily basis? No. But so if I'm not accessing that document, that soft copy of my driving license on a daily basis, so I don't want to pay higher money. If I'm storing this document in standard S3 standard, so I will be getting 100 rupees charge. But I'm not accessing this file on a daily basis. I want Amazon to give me some discounts. So what I can do, I can select S3 infrequent access. So for which type of data this tier is be fruitful for us, where you are accessing the data infrequently or less frequently, but you have to get that file immediately when required. So I'm highlighting the keywords: less frequently used data, but required immediately. So in this case, you are going to get, let's say, charge 80 rupees to store the data. You are getting discount to store the file in infrequent access. Now you will say, sir, when I'm getting discount, I will always store my data in infrequent access. No, there is a caveat here. So if you are accessing this file, you are going to get a lower fees than standard, but there is a charge to access this file. To access this file, Amazon will charge you 1 rupee, let's say. In standard, you can access this file n number of times. There is no charge in accessing the file or retrieve the file. So to understand it, basically, if you are storing your data, अगर आप अपना data S3 standard में store कर रहे हो, so it is a maximum or the costliest storage class. So आप अपनी फाइल हजारों बार एक्सेस करो, Amazon उसका चार्ज नहीं लेगा, क्योंकि उसने ऑलरेडी आपसे एक्स्ट्रा पैसे ले रखे हैं. So if in a daily basis you are accessing the file 100 times, there is no charge to read the file or download the file. Amazon has already taken the maximum amount it wants from you. Now, in your company, in okay, or if you're storing your data in S3, do you want some saving? आपको कुछ saving करना है. To save your money, you have explored different option. अब आपने देखा कि आप अपनी files, अपना data daily access नहीं कर रहे हो. So why should I pay 100 rupees per file? If there are 1,000 file, you can see you are saving 20% nearly. If I'm keeping my data to infrequent access. Okay, so what type of data I should keep in infrequent access, which I'm not using on a daily basis or less frequently, but if required, you need immediately. If required, you need immediately, like your identity proof, your PAN card, Aadhaar card, your college mark sheets, and so on. Right? So this type of data you can keep in infrequent access, but when you access this data, Amazon will charge you some amount to read this data. So मान लीजिए एक महीने में आपने ये फाइल 5 बार रीड करी है. So how much amount you are paying? 80 rupees per month plus 1 rupees per retrieval. That is 5 rupees. You have paid 85 rupees in a month. Still you have saved your money, right? Still you have saved your money. You have saved 15 rupees a month. If you multiply this by 1,000 files, it will be in 1,000 rupees, and if you go beyond that, it will be a lot more in dollars and in lakhs. Getting? Now, let's say there is a file which you have kept in infrequent access. आपने यहाँ पे एक फाइल रखी है infrequent access में, और आप उसको डेली एक्सेस कर रहे हो. डेली एक्सेस कर रहे हो तो कितना चार्ज लग गया आपको? 30 रुपीज. डेली एक बार यूज कर रहे हो तो 80 प्लस 30 यू आर पेइंग 110 रुपीज. जब आपको पता है कि आप उसको डेली यूज करने वाले हो तो वो फाइल इनफ्रीक्वेंट एक्सेस में रखी क्यों है? सो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड योर डेटा, कि ये डेटा सेग्रीगेशन करो कि ये डेटा मैं डेली यूज करूंगा, ये डेटा मैं कम यूज करूंगा, ये बहुत कम यूज करूंगा. दैट्स हाउ इन जनरल वी डू, राइट? वी क्रिएट फोल्डर्स. ओके, द मोस्ट फ्रिक्वेंटली फाइल्स हम लोग डेस्कटॉप पे रखते हैं. द फाइल विच आर लेस यूज हम लोग फोल्डर के अंदर फोल्डर बना के रखते हैं, राइट? So this is how in S3 also you can do that. You can select different tiers, and according to tiers, you are going to get charged. And to move the file from different tier, you don't understand what type of file you are going to use over the period of time, and what is your requirement when you want that file immediately or not. So I'm highlighting some words. It will help you to understand next tiers. Again, infrequent access, the data is stored in 3 availability zone, minimum 3 availability zone. Your database is 99.99 availability and 99.99 durability in infrequent access as well. So all the feature of standard is inherited in infrequent access, but it is designed for data which is less frequently used, and if required the data is available immediately. Clear? इतना समझ आया? किसी को नहीं आया तो मुझे बताओ. Why I'm selecting this word, you are going to understand in next section. Okay, now the next section. S3 one zone infrequent access. Now from the word you can see S3 one zone infrequent access. So there is a one zone here. So it is a subpart of in S3 infrequent access, but your data will be stored in single availability zone. Your data will be stored in single availability zone. So what type of data should I kept here? So there are some data like system logs file, temporary files, your cache files, temp file, thumbnails files. These are generated over a period of time. Logs files, which are not that important to me and which can be regenerated. ऐसे फाइल्स रहते हैं जो कि मैं रीजनरेट कर सकता हूँ, जैसे आपके टेम्पररी फाइल्स है, कैशे फाइल्स है, राइट. ऐसे फाइल्स आप कभी भी रीजनरेट कर सकते हो, राइट. And they are not that important to me. If a single availability zone goes down, still I can live with that. That इतना important data नहीं है. Okay, so you can keep the data in S3 one zone. So what it is here, your data will be stored in only single availability zone. It will not store in three availability zone. So let's say you are paying 100 rupees here, 80 here, you will get nearly 60 rupees here, और डिस्काउंट मिल जाएगा, और 40 rupees something. Okay, so same as infrequent access. However, data is stored in single availability zone only. It has 99.99 point durability, but it has 99.5 availability. The cost is 20% less. Okay, so over the period of time you will able to realize that किस type का data है. If you are working in industry, if you are working in a company, you have to make sure that what type of data you are dealing with. What is the life cycle of the data? How frequently you are accessing the data? What is the importance of that data? And how can you save the money of your company? The more you save your money for your company, the more you will get appreciated. Yeah, you have saved a lot of amount of money. And trust me, in my company, according to my experience, we are spending more on data. हमारा we have thousands of dollars we are spending on just storing the data. So there was a time when we were spending $10,000 or $50,000 over a month to store the data in S3, and after understanding the pattern of the data, we have reduced that cost up to 40%. Okay, so we have over time we have moved the data to infrequent access one zone according to the life cycle of the data. Okay, now I will come to the this fourth tier. Let's go to the next one. Okay, now what is this tier? Can you see the word S3 glacier instance retriever? Okay, now what is mean by glacier? Anybody knows glacier? Have you heard of the word glacier? सुना कभी word glacier? What is the meaning of glacier? What is the meaning of glacier? Am I audible? Please be interactive, guys. What is the meaning of glacier? Anybody? Glacier is basically the old ice which is stored over the period of time, right? Glacier is a very old ice. Similarly, if you have a data which is you have to keep for a very long time, and it is you can live with the data if the data is not available immediately. Okay, example, your college final year project, that data, that files are important to you, but if required, you don't require that file immediately. You can like wait for 1 hour 2 hours to retrieve the data. Nowadays there are old photos, let's say you have a childhood photos are there which are important to you, but to retrieve that file, to get that file, you can wait 1 hour 2 hours. Okay, if that is a requirement, okay, if you have that type of data where you don't, when the requirement comes still you can wait for 1 or 2 hours, ऐसी कुछ फाइल्स, ऐसे कुछ डेटा आपने ऐसे ग्लेशियर में डाला, किस टाइप का डेटा आपको इम्पोर्टेंट तो है बट आपको इमीडिएटली नहीं चाहिए होता कभी भी, जैसे आपके ओल्ड स्कूल की फोटोज हो गए, आपके कॉलेज के प्रोजेक्ट्स हो गए, असाइनमेंट्स हो गए। ओके, ऐसा डेटा या आपके पुराने इनकम टैक्स के फाइल्स, इनकम टैक्स का डेटा हो गया जो कि आपको इमीडिएटली कभी नहीं जरूरत होगा, आप 1-2 घंटे वेट कर सकते हो to get that file from Amazon. That is called, then you can keep the data in S3 Glacier. S3 Glacier. There are three categories right now. S3 Glacier, I will give you in detail about all these three category. But till 2019, it was S3 Glacier. In till 2019, it was S3 Glacier. Over the period of time, Amazon has split S3 Glacier into three parts. We'll cover that one by one. But till 2019 it was S3 Glacier. So here we are keeping the data which is very less used, and there is a waiting time of at least 2 to 3 hours to get the data. So what Amazon does, if you're keeping this data here, Amazon, let's say previously you are paying 100 rupees, right? You're paying 100 rupees, 80 rupees, 40 rupees, but now if you're keeping your data in Glacier, you have to pay 20 rupees. Okay, you are, you have to pay only 20 rupees to get to store the data in Glacier. So you can see the word formally named as S3 Glacier. It is previously called as S3 Glacier. Okay, now what type of data do you will keep here? The data which you don't access very frequently, and if you require that file you can wait for a couple of hours. So very cheap but used to archive only. Optimized for the data that is infrequently accessed, and it take minutes to hour to restore them from Glacier. Example, due to the federation rules, the companies might need to store the data for 5 to 7 years. गवर्नमेंट बोलती है ना कि आपको है ना अपने कस्टमर का डेटा 5 साल तक रखना है, 10 साल तक का रखना है, 20 साल का रखना है. सो दैट्स टाइप ऑफ डेटा, राइट? Banking, if you are in banking sector, the bank has to keep the records of the transactions done for last 10 years, 20 years, according to your government rules. Okay, so if you're working in that industry and there is a data which is older that than 5 years, 10 years, do you think that you're going to use the data frequently? ऐसा डेटा रहता है ना, हर कंपनी में रहता है, आपके पास भी होगा। आपके पास पुराने गाने होंगे, यू माइट हैव कलेक्शन ऑफ ओल्ड सॉन्ग्स, मूवीज हो गए आपके पास। क्या आप डेली यूज करते हो क्या वो डेटा? आपने स्टोर करके रखे होगे, देयर माइट बी सम मूवीज और सॉन्ग्स विच यू लाइक, बट आप डेली यूज नहीं करते। इफ यू आर नॉट यूजिंग डेली, और आपका चलो आज मन कर गया गाना वो मूवी देखने का, तो व्हाट यू कैन डू, यू कैन पुट इट ऑन रिट्रीवल। It will take 2 hours to get the file from Amazon. So you have to pay only 20 rupees to store the data and 1 rupees for retrieval. If you're storing in standard S3 standard, you have to pay 100 rupees, or in infrequent access 80. Here the benefit is that this is designed for infrequent access, but you will get the file immediately. जब आप Amazon से मांगोगे वो 1 सेकंड में दे देगा फाइल, it will return that file immediately. But in Glacier there is a waiting time, 2 से 3 घंटे लगते हैं। And why? Because Amazon stores your data in a very compressed manner. जब वो ये जो ग्लेशियर में स्टोर करता है वो बहुत ज्यादा कंप्रेशन और एल्गोरिदम लगा के आपका डेटा ऑप्टिमल वे कंप्रेस करके स्टोर करता है। So it take time to decompress and available, and that it take time to decompress the data and make it available to you. That's why. So you can see very less frequently used data, and if you are willing to wait for couple of hours to get minutes to hours to get that file, you can store your data in Glacier. इतना समझ आया? And it is a one of the cheapest storage class. Why I'm using only point number 6? Because previously there were only single glacier named as S3 glacier. Now Amazon has split the glacier into 3 categories. We will talk about one by one all these 3 categories. But glacier समझ आया क्या होता है? किसी को यहाँ तक समझ नहीं आया तो मुझे बताओ हम क्या कर रहे हैं, क्या बता रहे हैं स्टोरेज क्लास। इट्स इम्पोर्टेंट टू सेव योर मनी एंड कंपनीज मनी। Okay. In 2019, Amazon has launched a new service called Amazon Deep Glacier. Okay, Amazon Deep Glacier. So S3 Glacier and Deep Glacier was there. In this two category, here in Glacier, the retrieval time was 1 hour to minutes to hours. 1-2 घंटे में फाइल मिल जाती थी. But in Deep Glacier, everything is same, but the retrieval time has gone to 12 hours. Up to 12 hours. And it is the cheapest or the lowest storage class available in S3. So let's say in Glacier you are charged 20 rupees. Here you will be getting charged as 10 rupees. This is the cheapest storage class which Amazon has, or Amazon is providing you. Okay, again retrieval charge is 1 rupees. Okay, but you have to wait for at least 12 hours to get that file. So Amazon के ने deep compress करके रख दिया उसको, and to uncompress and make that file available, it might take couple of from hours, means couple of hours, up to 12 hours, right? So this is Glacier and Deep Glacier. Then Amazon in 2022, last year, previous year, in the month of March, I think they have launched a new service called Amazon Glacier Instance Retrieval. And after launching this service or this tier, they have renamed this storage class as well. So they have given name as S3 Glacier Flexible Retrieval. सो जो पहले था फॉर्मली नेम एज एस ग्लेशियर, वही है प्रॉपर्टी, बट व्हाट दे आर गिविंग हियर, दे आर गोइंग टू चार्ज यू 20 रुपीज ओनली। इन दोनों का जितना चार्ज है वो सेम ही रहेगा, बट you can get the file immediately and you will be charged 5 rupees for retrieval. Instead of 1 rupees, you are going to charge 5 rupees to get the file immediately. So it is a archive storage class that delivers the lowest cost storage which require retrieval in milliseconds. So instance retrieval, आप ग्लेशियर में जो स्टोर कर रहे हो, यहाँ पे मिनट से आवर्स था, पर यहाँ पे इमीडिएटली मिल जाएगा। ग्लेशियर में स्टोर कर रहे हो आप, बट आपको फाइल इमीडिएटली मिल जाएगी, बट चार्जेस ज्यादा देने पड़ेंगे। ओके, रिट्रीवल चार्ज उन्होंने हाई कर दिए। सो अगर आपको ऐसा डेटा है जो आप बहुत कम यूज करते हो, बहुत ही कम यूज करते हो, आर्काइव में रखना चाहते हो, बट इंस्टेंटली रिट्रीव भी करना चाहते हो, सो यू कैन कीप इट हियर, instant retrieval. So these are the storage class available in Amazon. Any question? So why we have to learn this thing? To save your money. You have, let's say, 100 files are there with you. There are some files which you are going to use on a daily basis. There will be 10% of the files which you are going to use on a daily basis. There will be some 20 to 30% of the files which you are using but not frequently, once in a week, once in a month. And there will be 20 to 30% of the data of files which you are rarely using, like once in a year, once in 2 year, and you not do not require that file immediately as well. So to save that money, Amazon has provided different tiles, and while dealing with that data, you can move that files into different categories. Clear? Any question here? Any question, guys? समझ आ रहा है?
Yes.
Now, in 2018, Amazon has launched one more category. Okay, here they have given a flexibility that if you don't know, now you will go to Amazon that I don't know, there are thousands of files in my S3, and I'm not sure which file is used frequently and which file is not used frequently, and there are hundreds of uh, employee in my company, so I'm not sure which file is used how frequently. मेरे को पैटर्न नहीं पता. Okay, if you know the pattern, you can easily manage that. But in your company, there are hundreds of employees are working, and there are hundreds of thousands and lakhs of number of files are there, and you don't know the pattern right now. आपको पता नहीं है how frequently the data is used. Okay, and which person is using what type of data, but still you want to save some money in your AWS account. So in that scenario, Amazon came up with the S3 intelligent tiering. It is a AI based, you can say, in a very simple way. It is a intelligent tiering means Amazon track your usage of a file. If you enable this thing, Amazon tracks the usage of file. And if that file is not used for certain amount of time, it will be moved to infrequent access. And if you are using that file continuously, it will move to frequent access or in SC standard to save the money. So basically, if you're not accessing a file for a certain period of time, which is stored in S3 standard, it will be automatically moved to the lower classes to save the money. Okay, so Amazon itself tracks some files and it will move to infrequent access if you enable this feature. Okay, So unknown or unpredictable access pattern. The data is moved between frequently and infrequent access. Automatically moves your data to most cost effective tier based on how frequently you are accessing the file or object. How does it work? If an object is not accessed over a period of 30 days consecutively, then it get moved automatically to infrequent access. But as soon as the object which is in infrequent access is used or is accessed, it will move to frequent access or standard. So what basically it means, if you are not accessing a file for 30 days consecutively, then if a data is stored in S3 standard, it will move to infrequent access. And if you are accessing that file, if you have accessed that file, it will move to standard. S3 intelligent tiering has the same level of jury ability and availability as you expect from S3 infrequent access. Basically, it has 99.99 availability and durability. All these things are available. So these are the 6 to 7 storage classes in Amazon. And this is a summary table. Okay, here I have not added S3 uh, instance retrieval right now. S3 Glacier instance retrieval. This chart I found it somewhere, and this is a summary chart of what we have learned right now. So we'll come to this. Let's go to lab and let's upload some data and understand how it is, how can move your data to S3 storage classes. So log into your AWS console. Again, I think they have changed some GUI anyhow. Click on S3, go to your S3 console, check it out your bucket. So this is our bucket which we have created yesterday. We have created some folder, we have uploaded some file, so you can see the objects are there. So if you see the right side, storage class, it gives you the information about which storage class you have stored your data. So by default, when you uploaded data, we didn't specify in which storage class we have to upload the data. So by default, it is S3 standard. So let's upload a new document, add a file. Okay, select any file. If you scroll down, click on the property. Yesterday I told you that we are going to cover each and every property. So let's see. So you can see all the storage class here. Okay. So S3 standard, frequently access data, more than once a month. You can retrieve data in milliseconds. Okay, you can see all the things which we have learned till now. It is giving the information here as well. Data is stored in 3 availability zone and so on. S3 infrequent access. Infrequently access data once in a month with millisecond. Data is stored in 3 availability zone. Storage duration 30 days. Retrieval charge. Now you can see retrieval charge. To access the file, do you have to pay the charge? For standard, there is no charge. But for infrequent access, there is a charge per GB. One zone. Glacier, glacier, 3 glacier. So glacier instant retrieval, glacier flexible retrieval, glacier deep archive. There are 3 categories. And you might have seen when I was uploading the file, by default it is selected standard. जब भी आप फाइल अपलोड कर रहे हो बाय डिफॉल्ट वो स्टैंडर्ड में ही सिलेक्टेड रहता है, बट इज योर चॉइस. Okay, let me show you again. When you're uploading any document, any file, any data, by default it is uploaded in or by default it is selected as standard. While uploading the data, I can select that it should be uploaded in infrequent access. From here you can change the category. So from now this data will be stored in infrequent access, and just upload the data. So close it. Now you can see this file or object which we have uploaded in S3 is stored in infrequent access. So there is a less, I am paying a little less as compared to standard to store this data in S3. Okay, so I am paying less as compared to standard. If you go here, if you go to the object property, you can scroll down and you can see the storage class here as well. So you can modify after uploading the data. So let's see that as well. So select any other file. Let's say this is the file which is showing S3 standard, and I want to move this file to Glacier or uh, one zone. So you can just go to the storage class here, click on edit, and you can change the storage class. There is no problem, and just save it. So from standard, I have moved this object to infrequent access. Okay, from yeah, from standard, I have moved this object to infrequent access, one zone. Okay. Similarly, if you are uploading any file and I want to add that file in Glacier, okay, so let me upload this in Glacier, and then I will deep Glacier or Glacier flexible. Now, if you see in this in these three categories, in standard, if I click on the object and I can download the file. I can open the file. But if you have uploaded your data in Glacier, let's see, can I download or access the file? You can see the options are gray out. You can't access the file. ग्लेशियर में डाला आपने तो आप डायरेक्टली फाइल एक्सेस नहीं कर सकते. So here it is giving the information. The object is stored in Glacier. You have to restore it. In order to access, you first need to restore. आपको रिट्रीव करनी पड़ेगी फाइल. I told you, if you are storing in Glacier or Deep Glacier, first you have to get the file from Amazon. आपको रिक्वेस्ट रेज करनी पड़ती है कि मुझे ये फाइल चाहिए. So you can store the initiate restoration. So it asks you for how many days you need the file. Let's say दो दिन के लिए चाहिए मुझे. Okay, so you can see typically within 5 to 12 hours. It will take 5 to 12 hours to get this file. Okay, and click on restoration. So now you can see a restoration request has been initiated, and after restoration done, then you can download this or access this file. समझ आ रहा है ग्लेशियर ग्लेशियर और डीप ग्लेशियर का concept? So here I am paying a very less amount because I have stored the data in Glacier. Now, as I said, recently they have introduced a new category as Glacier Instance Retrieval. This one. Okay. Here you can retrieve the data immediately. It is in Glacier, but the data you can retrieve immediately. So you can see this is the file. If you click here, you can download the file immediately. Okay. So these are the couple of categories. In exam and in interview, you have to go through thoroughly what storage class is beneficial for you and in which scenario this storage class will help you out. So now let's go to S3 pricing. Now you will understand how S3 pricing works for different storage classes. So just search S3 pricing. It will open the pricing sheet for you. Now let's go to Virginia first. Yeah, this one. Yeah. So S3 to store the data in S3 standard, how much amount of money you have to pay? $0.023 per gigabyte. If I convert this into INR, that is 2 rupees nearly. 2 rupees per GB per month. Okay. If I'm storing, let's say 100 GB, I have to pay 400 rupees per month. Right? Now, if you go here, scroll down, S3 standard infrequent access. And if you observe, it is nearly giving 50% discount as compared to standard. Standard you have to pay 0.23. Here you have to pay $0.125 per GB per month. You can see 1 rupees per gigabyte per month. If I'm storing my data, the costing is reduced to 50% if in infrequent access. But to access the data, you have to pay the retrieval charges. Okay. If you scroll down, S3 one zone infrequent access. Now 0.0125 it has reduced to 0.01. You can see some discount is there. Now if you go here, S3 instance retrieval, S3 glacier instance retrieval, $0.004. From 23 it has reduced to 4. If you search here, 33 paisa. Initially I was paying 2 rupees, now it is 33 paisa. You can see how much it has reduced. It is almost 20% of the actual price. Then 33.0036 for glacier flexible retrieval and deep glacier. This is a cheapest or the least costliest storage class. And if you check the price, 8 paisa per GB per month. Okay, so from 2 rupees we have gone to 8 paisa. But you can see there is a restoration time associated with all this thing. So you can read it out this article. Here they will give you the example how they are calculating the charges. Okay, and just read the FAQ. So any service you are working on, you are reading on, your practice, go through FAQ as well. FAQ gives you the good information about what that service is. So what is S3, what it do, what is the purpose of S3, then security, durability, then the storage class, which we have covered today. Storage class, how to decide which storage class to use. Intelligent tiering, we have seen that intelligent tiering is also there. Okay, how it works. Then scroll down. Yes, standard. S3 standard. What is S3 standard? What is its features? S3 infrequent access. What is its features are there? Then S3 one zone infrequent access. So all this information I have read this thing one, and from there I have just selected what is important for you. S3 glacier, instance retrieval, flexible retrieval, all things are there. If you want, you can just read it out and how the calculation is working, how they are charging you. They have given all the information here with a proper example. Okay, and the price vary according to your region. Always remember. So you can see in Virginia it's to $0.023. In Mumbai it is $0.25. Okay, according to the region the charges might vary. And why it is varying? Because of the geographical area, because of the uh, property rate, the electricity facility or the internet facility in that area, the costing is higher in different areas. Okay, so you can check it out, the pricing. So you can see California, it is higher. Okay, any question in this S3 storage classes? So while uploading the data, you can select the storage class, and after uploading also you can just change the storage class as well. That's the both the options. So standard infrequent access, standard one zone, infrequent access, intelligent tiering, glacier instance retrieval, glacier flexible retrieval, glacier data archive, and this is one category which is not required. This is not in use right now. That's why I have removed this from the syllabus. Not recommended in, as S3 standard is more cost effective. Amazon itself is saying not, do not use it. Okay, so you can just check it out, move the data in different tiers, and you can access the data. Okay, so if you are uploading your data in Glacier, there are chances that you have to retrieve the data, and after that only you are able to access the data. Okay, any question? So here you are uploading your data. That's it. Clear? Should I move further? Any question in this? So here, this is a summary chart of your storage classes. SC standard, infrequent access, one zone, glacier, deep glacier. So you can see durability, all has 11 times durability. Availability, standard has highest level of availability, that is 99.99 times. Infrequent access 99.9, infrequent one zone 99.5. Glacier, deep glacier, again they have three availability zone. They are always highly available. Okay, but here the data is not available immediately. That's why they are saying NA. You have to wait for a couple of minutes to hours to get the data. Okay, zone, three availability zone, three availability zone, three availability zone, three availability zone, three. Only in one zone the data is kept in single availability zone. Okay, retrieval charges, you can see there are retrieval charges associated to uh, infrequent access, one zone, glacier, deep glacier. And latency, how frequent fast you will get the data. So standard millisecond, 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 millisecond. Glacier and deep glacier you will get, okay, glacier and deep glacier you have to wait for a couple of minutes to hours to get the data. Okay, any question? Any question, any doubts? Okay, now how Amazon is charging you, how Amazon S3 is charging you. So the amount of data you store in S3 in GBs, according to that Amazon charges you. How many times you are accessing the data, that is also according to that Amazon charges you. Store management, Okay, storage management, price, inventory analysis and object tagging. These are other things. Okay, data management, pricing, data transfer out of Amazon, free to transfer into S3. So if you are uploading your data to S3, there is no charge. If you are moving your data out of S3, then you will get charged. Okay, transfer acceleration and cross-event application. We are going to cover this in further classes. Yeah. So the next topic, shall we continue? Cross-event application and transfer acceleration. I have to cover these two topics. Yes. Now, what is cross-event application and why it's important? Okay. What is cross-event application? So let's say you have created a bucket in Virginia. You have created a bucket in Virginia. Let's say you have this bucket is used to deliver the content in Virginia region customers. Assume that it is a Netflix. Okay, and you are uploading your all the video content in this bucket to deliver the customer which are in America. Right, you are as an employee of Netflix, so that time you created a bucket in America, Virginia, and you're uploading your data in this bucket to serve the client for American customers. But now but now you have set up a new country as Australia. You set up a new country, and now Netflix is delivering their content to Australian clients. So what, according to you, what will happen? Should they be accessing the data from Virginia S3 bucket, or should they create a new bucket? As an engineer, data engineer, should the Australian customer still be using the same bucket to access the media files, or they should be using a different bucket? And why? Yes, no. Now imagine that there is a client customer in Australia, in America, versus a customer in Australia. This person will able to access the file or get the file faster as compared to customer accessing the file in Australia. Why? Because he has to connect, or he or she has to connect that or download that file over the internet through this bucket. And you know that the if you are downloading a file over a long distance, there is a latency, there is a delay. How can you improve the customer experience there? The American customer is able to download a file in 5 seconds. Similarly, similar file is taking 7 seconds to download by Australian client. You can multiply the amount, number of seconds. So a customer sitting in US is able to download or access the file in 5 seconds, versus a customer sitting in Australia is able to access that file, same file, in 7 seconds because of the latency. How can you improve the latency? How can you improve the customer experience? So what I can do, I can create a one bucket here as well. And whenever a new content is coming, so I will upload the data here and I will upload a file here, both the places. That makes sense. So a bucket dedicated to Australian clients, a bucket dedicated to US client. but I have to upload the data two times. I have to upload the data two times. Okay, so this is a problem that I have to upload the data two times. Let's say now Netflix wanted to set up a customer base for Indian customer. So there will be another bucket. So I have to upload data three times, and to upload the data, it take time, it take bandwidth to upload the data in different buckets. So there should be some automation way, na? Yeah, कि if I upload the data here one time, it should be move automatically to different region bucket. Is there any automation? Let's check it out. Okay, this is a one use case where you want to replicate your data in different bucket because of because of increasing the user experience in different region. Second, some companies want to take a backup of this bucket. Let's say in US they have created one bucket, okay, and they don't want only single bucket, they want a backup of this bucket. Let's say they want the backup to be available in this region. So whatever the data you are uploading here, you need to create a backup of the data. So and that backup will be stored in another bucket. Why? For the disaster. Let's say your America can go isolated. Complete America region goes down. There is a fiber cut. Still, you want a backup. Okay. So for that purpose, you have created a bucket here. Now similarly, now you have to upload the data two times in primary bucket and in the backup bucket. So there should be some mechanism where the data should be automatically moved to the backup bucket. That's where cross region replication comes in picture. Okay, or replication. So as the name suggests, it replicates your data. What happens? You can create another bucket in different region in the same region. So this is your primary bucket and this is your secondary bucket or the backup bucket, or you can say the target bucket. Now, whenever you upload any data in your primary bucket, Amazon will take care that they will replicate, they will move a copy of the data to another bucket which you have configured. It is automatically move, Amazon will copy the data. You don't have to do anything. You just have to upload, you have to just maintain your primary bucket, and Amazon will make sure that the data which was uploaded in your primary bucket will move automatically to your secondary or the target bucket. This you can configure. So if there are n number of bucket which is connected to your primary bucket, so Amazon will take care of replicating the data in that buckets. Okay, so for to do that, there will be some charges associated to that, but it is less, it is very cheap as compared to uploading the data individual to each and every bucket by yourself. Getting? So basically अगर आपके पास पांच बकेट है और पांचों को आपको सिंक में रखना है, तो या तो आप हर बकेट को मैन्युअली अपलोड करो डेटा हर बकेट के अंदर, या एक प्राइमरी बकेट डिफाइन करो और उससे बाकी की चार बकेट इंडिकेट कर दो. ओके, अगर आप पांचों बकेट में अपलोड कर रहे हो, आपकी बैंडविड्थ भी जा रही है, आपका टाइम भी जा रहा है, आपका पैसा भी जा रहा है. इंस्टेड ऑफ दैट, लेट Amazon डू द एप्लीकेशन फॉर यू. ओके, Amazon एक मिनिमम चार्जेस लेगा आपसे, बट इट विल डू replication much faster and in a very less amount of time and money. Okay, that is called cross and replication. Replicate your data across multiple buckets. It can be in the same region as well, it can be in different region, it doesn't matter. Your target bucket, destination bucket कहाँ पे है, it doesn't matter. The concept is, if you are uploading the data in the primary bucket, it will replicate the data to different bucket as per your configuration. ऐसा नहीं कि सारे बकेट्स पे करेगा, अगर आपको चाहिए तो ही सर्विस इम्प्लीमेंट होगी. Okay, for doing this we will do a lab. Right now just understand the concept. Clear है क्रॉस रीजन एप्लीकेशन का concept?
हाय पराग।
Yes.
एक्चुअली मेरा कंसर्न ये था,
Hmm.
एक two buckets are there.
Hmm.
One primary in Virginia and another one is in Australia, right?
Okay.
So जो भी clients है like Australia, they are uploading some files. So
Hmm.
वो files कहाँ पे upload होंगी?
Okay.
In the
So
bucket of Australia or
no.
primary bucket of Virginia?
So if you're talking about if the customer uploading in the this bucket, then this is not the concept for that. Means if I'm uploading the
Okay,
data in this bucket and I need a backup of that bucket data in this bucket, that is a concept. आप इसको प्राइमरी मान के चलो। अगर आप इसको अगर ऑस्ट्रेलिया के लिए तो प्राइमरी बकेट ये हो गई, तो इसका बैकअप ये नहीं हो सकता। नहीं तो क्या होगा,
right. तो
कंटिन्यूअस इन्फाइनाइट डेटा ट्रांसफर होता रहेगा। ये कंसेप्ट हमेशा याद रखना कि आपके प्राइमरी बकेट और सेकेंडरी बकेट वन वे ही होना चाहिए। हाँ, अगर आप इसमें अपलोड
so
कर रहे हो।
uploading अगर any changes है
हाँ,
like bucket में कुछ changes है जो भी uploading है तो primary में ही होगा, right?
राइट। अगर
तो
आपकी ये
उसमें latency आ सकती है,
लेटेंसी मतलब कितने टाइम में कॉपी होगा वो, या एक्सेस का,
right?
कि मेरे को इस बकेट को एक्सेस करने लग रहा है उसका लेटेंसी, या
हाँ
डेटा ट्रांसफर का
हाँ,
लेटेंसी
right.
पूछ रहे हो। देयर आर टू।
whatever like any changes replicate करना है या तो changes करने हैं कुछ फाइल में या बकेट में
नहीं,
ऑब्जेक्ट में
सो देयर आर टू
कुछ
टाइप ऑफ
अपलोड
लेटेंसी।
करना है।
अगर आपने यहाँ पे लेटेंसी डेटा अपलोड किया, इफ यू आर अपलोडिंग डेटा हियर
हम्म,
and you are accessing the data in this bucket, there will be no latency. First of all, Amazon is giving that you can access the data immediately, irrespective उस डेटा पे कितने लोग एक्सेस कर रहे हैं। That is the benefit of cloud ना। A same file can be used by hundreds of people concurrently.
ओके
Okay, so there will be no latency. There is हम लोग लास्ट में पढ़ेंगे परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ S3, बट स्टिल देर इज नो डिले। कि अगर आपने एक ही फाइल 50 लोग एक्सेस कर रहे हो, 1000 कर रहे हो, 10,000 कर रहे हो, दैट डजंट मैटर। So there will be no performance degradation on this bucket. Secondly, it take couple of seconds to minutes to copy the data to the target bucket. ऐसा नहीं कि आपने अपलोड किया और नेक्स्ट सेकंड यहाँ पे मिल जाएगा, नहीं। It take couple of seconds to minutes, and depending on the size of the file, that how much large the file is, it will copy the file in target bucket. According to me, my experience, it take couple of minutes, like 5 मिनट के अंदर फाइल रेप्लिकेट हो जाती है, बैकअप बन जाता है उसका। Now coming to this is my primary bucket, right? And I'm acting this as a backup bucket. देखो दो यूज केस है। Now do you want it as a backup bucket or do you want to create a replica? So the my first use case is backup bucket. This is my primary bucket and my client and everyone is here only. This is in the case of disaster, only backup के purpose के लिए। So मैं तो इसको यूज ही नहीं करने वाला until unless कि मेरे को बैकअप के लिए काम है। This is one use case. Second use case जो हमने बोला कि हम दोनों जगह सिंक में रखना चाहते हैं, इसको और इसको सिंक में रखना चाहते हैं। वाई आई वॉन्ट टू प्रोवाइड अ गुड यूजर एक्सपीरियंस टू ऑल माई कस्टमर्स, राइट? सो उस केस में क्या करते हैं हम लोग, एक कॉमन बकेट बनाते हैं। दिस इज माई कॉमन बकेट वेयर आई विल अपलोडिंग द गोइंग टू अपलोड द डेटा एंड इट विल बी सर्विंग टू डिफरेंट बकेट्स। तो यहाँ पे भी एक बकेट होगी, यहाँ पे भी एक बकेट होगी, यहाँ पे भी एक बकेट होगी। तो मैं जो भी डेटा इसमें अपलोड करूंगा वो इसमें जाके सिंक हो जाएगी, इस सब में चली जाएगी एक साथ। ओके, नाउ देयर आर 5 फाइल आई हैव अपलोडेड इन दिस बकेट। तो हर बकेट में 5 फाइल तो होगी, राइट? एंड इफ यू आर अपलोडिंग एनी इंडिविजुअल फाइल्स, यहाँ पे आपने कोई अलग से फाइल अपलोड करी है, वो इसी में रहेगी। देयर विल बी नो एप्लीकेशन अपार्ट फ्रॉम अदर बकेट, राइट? बिकॉज आपने ये टारगेट रखा है ना। So that's the case. So if you're uploading 5 file here, it will automatically sync all the 5 file here. And if you're uploading extra file here, it will not replicate back. ये complete sync नहीं है, two way sync नहीं है, ये single way sync है। So if you're uploading 2 file here, that's it. There will be 7 files here, and here 5 files. I think that is your question, right, Sanket? Santosh?
yes, yes, yes.
And don't ever do a reverse sync. I have seen that couple of people, I have read article that लोगों ने यहाँ से यहाँ सिंक किया, फिर यहाँ से यहाँ सिंक किया, दोनों को एक दूसरे को प्राइमरी और सेकेंडरी बना दिया. इन दिस केस व्हाट विल हैपन, इट विल बी इनफाइनाइट लूप. आपने एक फाइल अपलोड करी यहाँ पे, वो फाइल यहाँ पे रेप्लिकेट हुई, यहाँ पे एक फाइल अपलोड हुई, वो फाइल वापस से यहाँ पे रेप्लिकेट होगी, फिर यहाँ पे रेप्लिकेट होगी, यहाँ पे रेप्लिकेट होगी, और कुछ नहीं होगा, आपको कितने चार्जेस लगेंगे. Amazon doesn't take responsibility about this. Amazon has clearly stated that this is a one way communication. अगर आपने इसको भी का टारगेट ये बना दिया, तो it will be infinite loop and you're just paying for transferring the file one by one after another. Okay, so cross-tenant application means copying a data in from one bucket to another. And why it is important? Because uploading, let's say you are uploading 5 GB of file from local system, इसको 10 मिनट लगे अपलोड करने में. सेम चीज मैं यहाँ पे अपलोड करूंगा तो फिर से 10 मिनट लगेगा ना मुझे. टू सेव माई टाइम एंड मनी, दैट्स वाई Amazon will give this feature. It's optional. If you want to use, you can use it. Clear? Any more question?
Clear.
Okay, again, it's a chargeable service. There is a charge associated to it, but it is very less as compared to if you are uploading the file manually in both the buckets. Got it? Next, and S3 transfer acceleration. So S3 file transfer acceleration. Remember we talk about edge location. It is used to create the cache. So if you have a data here, you can cache your data to intermediate servers, and so that your users can have a less latency. Instead of delivering direct content to the user, we are creating intermediate servers and create caches. Remember हमने ये पढ़ा था edge location. What is edge location? They are the servers where the data is cached and the users can access the data from that edge locations. Instead of directly going to the main target server, right? This is for downloading. But if you want to upload the data to S3, let's say you are the user, now you are uploading the data to S3 directly. It is taking 10 minutes. Why? Because your bucket is far away from you, right? Instead of that, you ask Amazon that, boss, you have a server near to me. There is a edge location near to me. Can I upload a file here? It takes 7 minutes for me to upload the file here. And from there, can you upload the data? Because you have ultra high speed between your servers, between your machines, and it will take 1 minute for you to upload the data. That means in total, it will take 8 minutes to upload the file. Why should I wait 10 minutes? Why should I spend 10 minutes? That is S3 transfer acceleration, where while uploading the data, instead of uploading the data to directly S3 bucket, we can upload the data to nearby edge location, and from there Amazon will upload the data to my target bucket. It is helping you to increase the cost, increase the efficiency of your S3 while uploading the data. So S3 transfer acceleration enable fast, easy and secure transfer of your file over long distance between you and your bucket. Okay, it take advantage of Amazon CloudFront global distribution edge location. We'll talk about that in very more detail. Okay, as the data arrive at edge location, it routes to S3 over a optimized path. Okay, so it is moreover used to upload the data to S3. Okay, so if you are taking 10 minutes to upload the data, it will take less amount of time to upload the data to edge location. So let's say it is taking you 6 minutes or 7 minutes to upload the data. Now your tension is over, right? Your task is completed. Now it's Amazon responsibility to move the data to S3, and it is very helpful if your bucket is very far from you. Okay, S3 transfer escalation. It is using edge location to upload your data to S3. Now check it out. So there is one S3 transfer escalation tool. Now Amazon has created a one tool which you can check it out. Will this S3 transfer escalation will help you out or not? Okay, I will come to this. So in S3, go to the bucket. If you go to the bucket and bucket property, you will scroll down. You will see S3 transfer acceleration. It is used to escalate for fast data transfer. Right now it is disabled. Okay. Now, will this service will help you or not? Why? You have to check it out first. Why? Because this is chargeable service again. Anything you are doing apart from the default thing, you are uh, asking Amazon to upload your data to S3 over optimized way, so Amazon will charge you. Now, if you are paying extra money to upload or transfer the data, it should be giving you a good enough amount, right? It should give you a optimized result, right? So for that purpose, Amazon has created this API, Amazon S3 transfer acceleration tool. So I'm giving you the URL in the chat, you can check it out. It gives you that if from right now from my laptop which is in India, if I'm uploading anything in Virginia, and if I enable S3 transfer acceleration, how much performance improvement I will get? I will get 43% improvement, right? This is the advantage. But but if my bucket is in Mumbai, okay, my bucket is in Mumbai, will this S3 transfer acceleration will help you out or not? So you can check it out. So if your bucket is in San Francisco and I'm in right now in India, it will give me 78% advantage. There are scenarios where there will be no advantage, like in Mumbai. I'm near to Mumbai. It will not give me any advantage. You will able to see. It will give you some negative results as well. So S3 transfer acceleration हमेशा अच्छा नहीं होता. Always remember. Check it out. In which scenario it is helping you out. So from your company's server, run this tool and check it out where your bucket is. So if your bucket is in Mumbai and you're working from India, you will see a very like 1%, 2%. It might be scenario where it gives a less performance. Negative में भी आता है. Okay, so this tool just give you the SC transfer acceleration help you out, helping you or how much amount faster it is helping you. So here you can see it is increased your transfer rate up to 78%. Okay, it is checking different servers across the globe. Okay, we'll come to this again. Let it do complete the task. So here you upload your data to a location, and from there Amazon will copy the data to S3. So for your scenario, you don't have to do anything. You just have to enable the S3 transfer acceleration. Amazon will reroute your request instead of S3. It will reroute your request to near a location automatically. आपको कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है, आपको सिर्फ बकेट को enable करना है. As soon as you enable the bucket, it automatically routes your request to near a location. आपका सारा डेटा ए लोकेशन में चला जाता है. Okay, this is all about your basics of S3. So what are the things we have learned till now? S3 is object based. It is not suitable for installing operating system or running any database. The file size can go from 0 byte to 5 terabyte single file size. You can store unlimited amount of data. Files are stored in bucket. We have created one bucket. We are going to create more bucket over the period of time. The name of the bucket should be unique. Okay. Consistency, it has been changed, so I'm not going to repeat that. S3 storage class, just we have learned today. S3 standard, durable, immediately available, frequently access data. S3 infrequent access, durable, immediately available, infrequent access data. S3 one zone, same as infrequent access, however the data is stored in single availability zone. Intelligent tiering, automatically moves your data from most cost effective tier on how frequently you are using the data. Glacier, it is used to archive the data, optimize for data that is infrequently used and the registration time can go from 1 minutes to hours. Deep Glacier, used for archival data. S3, lowest cost storage, where the retrieval times can go up to 12 hours. Then fundamentals of S3 object, we have key, we have value, ID, version ID, metadata. Then we have bucket policies, S3 transfer escalation, cross-region replication. Okay, whenever you're uploading any data to S3, it gives us status score 200. And finally, multi-factor authentication for securing your delete. So if you want to secure accidental delete, you can enable multi-factor authentication. So without that code, the file will not be getting deleted. So that's it of your basics of S3. Any question, any doubt, let me know.